Hi there everybody, welcome to NR 6910, GIS for Natural Resources. We're going to walk through a couple of the initial details of the course, introduce myself. I'm Shannon Belmont, very happy to be called Shannon, no need to call me Dr. Belmont or Professor. Communication preferences, shannon.belmont@usu.edu. I tend to respond to emails very quickly, don't have voicemail because I never check it, and so I've just gotten rid of it. So try and reach me by email first. Okay. I want to tell you a little bit about my background, really as an excuse to show you this wretched map that you might think is about Canada, because at the top of the page in big bold letters is the word Canada, like where you'd put a title. But clearly that's not what the map is about. So we're going to talk about cartography quite a bit. I grew up in Minnesota, and that's where I received my master's degree from the University of Minnesota in watershed management, very GIS intensive. My undergraduate degree is from the University of Washington in soil hydrology, and yeah, loved living in both places a lot. I miss Minnesota. You maybe don't know from my accent that I grew up in Minnesota as I take my boat down the road. Lived in Finland for quite a while, love it there. Lived in Italy for about a year. I've really been lucky to move around quite a bit, and now have found myself in Salt Lake, or in Logan. And yeah, lived in Hawaii for a little while, where I developed a passion for surf art and supported myself for about 10 years before moving out to Utah as a surf artist. But that is now a thing of the past. So here I am at Utah State University. I've been teaching GIS for over 10 years. I have a lecturer position in the Department of Environment and Society, and am now the director of the GIS certificate programs and Utah Geospatial Consortium. Okay, everything that you need for this course is on Canvas, including this video. So this is our centroid, or our hub. It's where you'll find announcements, and you can have these pushed to your email, which I would highly recommend that you do. The modules and assignments, everything you need is on Canvas, including information about the software that we're going to be using this semester and the hardware that you're going to need to run it. You'll submit all your assignments to Canvas as well. The basic gist of this class is to teach you three basic things. Number one, how does spatial data represent the real world? There are two basic spatial data types, and they both have a lot of strengths and limitations. There is a lot of uncertainty with spatial data, and I want to make sure that you are all very aware of that uncertainty by the end of the semester. Number two, where exactly are we, and how do we measure it and describe it? GIS is about connecting databases of information to maps. So we need to understand information, we need to understand the data, and we need to be able to describe exactly where we are. And finally, how can we communicate our results professionally and effectively? You can do brilliant, intelligent geospatial work, but if you can't communicate your results in a professional manner, you won't be taken seriously. So we are going to deal with some cartographic principles as well. Nitty gritty, late work. I am not a type A personality. You will find that out very quickly, but I do have a late work policy for a couple of reasons. Number one, the work snowballs very quickly. If you fall behind, you will probably end up with an F, or if there's some extenuating circumstances, an incomplete. And I don't want to see either one of those things happen. The work builds on itself, and it's every single week, so you can't afford to get behind. For me, grading work out of sync with the rest of the pack is very inefficient, and I have to manage my time very carefully as well. So you will have the benefit of more time if they're late, and that's not fair. You run the risk of just getting buried in the late work, and it's inefficient for me. Therefore, if you fail to communicate with me about what's going on and why an assignment might be late, you will receive a 10-point or 10% penalty on the lab up to 20%, and I just won't accept it after 2 weeks if you haven't communicated with me. So the moral of the story here is communicate. That's the best thing you can do. The weekly module work, the way I do this, it seems to work pretty well, is we roll out a new module or week's worth of work on Mondays. You have the whole week to complete it, and all work is due the following Monday by midnight. A lot of people have assignments due on Sunday night, but I like to give you that extra day in case you need to get into the office to access your work somehow or something happens. You've got till midnight, but technically we've rolled out the new material that week. Now, there are some weeks that you'll be posting your work to the discussion board to receive some feedback. The discussion posts are due when you submit your work, Monday night by midnight, and then you have 2 days to submit feedback to your classmates by midnight on Wednesday that week. But that feedback will be for the previous week's work, and you should be working on the next week's work. But the due date for that is tricky because you need to have it posted and then you need to have your feedback in by Wednesday. So I struggle with when to set the deadline for this, and I usually set the deadline for the discussion posts for Monday, so you get everything up there, and then you need to remember that you've got 2 days to get everything, all your feedback submitted. Okay, the other thing this course is all about is just plain old hard work. Don't worry about points, don't worry about grades, worry about the material and the content and really understanding how to apply the tools that we're going to be talking about to solid geospatial analysis. If you do the work and get through these really large kind of lab assignments where I embed a lot of theory, and if you can work through those and absorb it all, you're going to do great in this class. If you get the work done, that's what it's all about. Yeah, if you have any questions about that, make sure to contact me. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. When you're done with this class, you will, I promise, feel very confident doing GIS work. You'll be confident making maps, manipulating data, and defining where we are on this earth. And thank you.